Well, hello, friend, and welcome to another episode of Van Life Living in the Ark. I came out to the park to do a video today, but it's so windy, I just decided to do it in the car because there's really nowhere to go to get where you'll be able to hear me. It's blowing pretty good out here. Anyway, I came on here to talk about language today and God and truth. But I want you to understand it's language. So if you're a sensitive person, if you're a person that doesn't know Christ, you're one of these people that say they're Christian and you don't know Jesus, I'm going to offend you, right? So if you want to listen because you want to hear the truth of what Jesus said and everything, then that's great. But otherwise, I have every intentions on making you think about what it is you're thinking about. Because I'm going to tell you something. In this world, truth is objective. Everybody tells me there's a truth. That's not true. Buddhists think truth is one thing. Muslims think truth is another. Christians think truth is another thing. And atheists think that there's no truth at all, right? Because even if they did any research, they would see that their own scientists are calling other scientists liars. And the real truth is always far behind the lie that people thought was the truth. But as we've evolved, we have found a greater truth, right? But there is one truth that has upheld time, and that is the Bible. And the truth I want to talk to you about today with language is for a particular reason. I don't get into what's right or wrong with the world because if you don't believe in God, then why would you believe being gay is wrong, or why would you believe that a man is a woman and a woman can be a man? I understand that if you don't have a truth, that you're not going to hear anything because you don't have a truth worth having, because your truth is based on a bunch of lies, right? So if you don't believe that this book is the truth, well, then you shouldn't listen to this video. I'm just being honest. Because I'm going to tell you why it is they're doing what they're doing. This isn't an accident. The whole man and woman transgender thing is an intentional action that the corporate elite are doing, right? And if you hear what I'm saying, you're going to understand this. Because I can say, because if a gay man says he's gay, well, that does not cause a problem with our language and cause it to fail. The problem is when you say that a man is a woman and a woman can be a man, well, now you've destroyed knowledge of the combined human race, right? And communists use that to destroy societies, and they're using it to destroy ours. Except now it's not a government, it's one world government, which is under the corporate elite. So I want you to understand that because nobody can really define what a woman is without talking about things like a penis and a vagina, well, then everything becomes objective. So if I say that I'm not a man, I'm a woman, and I have a penis, well, then either everything that the world has ever used that word for is a lie, and therefore a hen is not a hen, nor is a rooster, because how do we know that they are maybe that rooster thinks he's a girl, and I've been calling him the wrong thing all the time. Same thing about a hen. Maybe she thinks she's a rooster, and I'm offending her by calling her a hen. Do you get that? So what I'm saying here is the way that they destroy our reality is by destroying our language. So this isn't just a spiritual thing, it is an intentional act being done by those that seek to destroy America. And because America is so foolish they can't see it, they're going to fall. So I've been telling you America's going to fall. This isn't rocket scientist, friend. I've showed you everything. But I've showed you exactly how it all works out biblically and that America's set up. I've showed you about how all these different fault lines are going to go off, and which is going to set off Yellowstone, and we will repent in sackcloth and ashes. The sun will be like sackcloth and will be covered in ash, because the Bible's true and America is Mystery Babylon, right? So, I mean, I've showed you all this. You can see that this is going to get done. I've told you that the walls that we build to keep them out will be the walls that keep us in, because God said so. Because he told me so back in 2008 before they were even building walls. And yes, everybody, including myself, thought I was crazy because God started talking to me when I made God a deal. I said, I don't care if you whip, beat, and crucify me. You give me the truth, you kill me now. And he started giving me the truth. And before that, I did not believe in the Bible. I now believe in the Bible. Before that, I didn't understand Christ. Now I understand Christ. And I can tell you that Christians are not of the Christ. They are quite often full of hypocrisy and lying about what Christ said. They have no interest in following Christ. They only have interest in not going to eternal hell. And that was not going to get them out of the end of the age where hell's going to be, right? So I'm never telling you anything other than the truth, and you can call it a truth or a lie, because your truth is a lie and my truth is a lie if you don't believe in Jesus, right? And you don't believe in this Bible. So if you're an atheist or you're some other religion, you're going to say my truth isn't true. But you can go look at the scientists that are talking geology, and you will see everything that I've showed you on these other videos is true. And even an atheist would believe it's true if they actually looked up the information. The problem is nobody looks up the information because everybody's too scared because they see that this whole world's about to fall and nobody wants to admit it. So I'm not here to tell you how to save the world because I can't, right? Because you don't want to save the world. And even if you do, not everybody else is going to agree with you. So you're going to want to save the world. You're going to run out and try to get them to save it. And you know what they'll call you? A paranoid conspiracy theorist, right? That's what they do. They mark you as crazy so that they don't have to look at the truth because they're too big of a scared coward to admit the truth. And I've given you all kind of truth. I've told you to go look at The Grab on Hulu. You want to see the major famines coming? They've got it all laid out, and the corporate elite are hiding it from you. They've been sneaking around trying to do all kind of stuff. That lays it out for you right there. So if you call me a liar, you got to call all those people a liar. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a liar. I'm telling you what God told me, and then God led me around to all these places to see the truth. I'm not trying to scare you. But on the other hand, if you're going to say that Jesus is not the truth, you're not entering his kingdom. And when we bring hell to the earth, you're going to be here to ride through all of it. You will pay every ounce of debt you owe because you called Jesus a liar. Because right there in John, and in many of my videos lately, I've been reading that to you, that Jesus said that the words he spoke are your judge. Not your preacher, not your church, not anybody. They're a bunch of lying hypocrites, but Christ is the truth. And if you get to know him, you will see that. But you say that you receive his death and then don't receive his life, you received half of what you needed. He's the one who told you, why would you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I ask? Grace alone was BS. I mean, it was one thing for the man on the cross to receive it, but that's because he couldn't come down off the cross and do what he asked. But if you've been a Christian for years and you said you love Jesus and you had a Bible and you never even read what Jesus said, well, then you know you're a liar because you don't even know what Christ said. You say, I believe in him, but you don't believe in him because you don't know him. You believe what other people tell you about him. And the problem is they didn't go get it from him. They got it from other people. So I'm always telling you, friend, that go get a red letter edition of the Bible. Go get a red letter edition of the Bible and read what Jesus said and read. Because he told you you have to hang all the laws and all the prophets on only 2 commandments, and one was like the other. He told you have to be in the world, but not of it. So yes, I know that they are wrong and that there is no such thing as a man that can be a woman. However, if I try to get them to be convinced of that, since they don't believe in God, I'm trying to give them a truth they don't want, and therefore they're going to call it a lie. I get it. I used to be one of those people, friend. I didn't want the truth because I wanted to be selfish. I wanted to serve Satan. I was a son of Satan. I've told you that. I'm not denying it. I was the son of perdition. And my Father loosed my chains and set me free. And he who the Son sets free is free indeed. So if you want freedom, you've got to find it in Christ. And if you believe in him that he died for you, you will be forgiven your debts. But if you are not going to do what he asked, he is going to deny you at the end of the age because you called him a liar. Because you listened to a bunch of people lie to you. You're basing your truth off of literally the Catholic Church where all this came from. And they used to burn their own priests at stakes. And if you don't know that that's the truth, it's because you have done no research of history. Should you base your eternal salvation on people that used to burn their own priests at stakes? No. You should base it on the words in red. The words in red, the words of Christ. That's what you need to base it on, right? See, I can't lie to you if you believe Jesus is the truth. If you don't believe he's the truth, then I'm a liar. Because you called me a liar, you called my king a liar, and therefore you're not entering his kingdom, and I don't care whether you follow Paulianity or not. You're a liar and a thief if you call Jesus a liar, because you're saying he's not the truth. He said, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. So you better get to know his words, because they did not pass away with Paul, as this church lies to you about. And if you don't believe that, then you're calling Jesus a liar. Fact. Outright fact. And all your truth crumbles. So if you don't want to believe in Jesus, you don't want to listen to me, because I'm telling you the truth. I don't expect people that don't believe in Jesus to believe it's the truth, because they have no truth except the one they have. And the problem is, we all went to get our truths from school, and it turns out the school was lying to us about all this stuff. You say that we had to bomb the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Well, you now know, if you went and watched the movie or done any documentary watching, you know that we dropped like 1,400 tons of TNT on Tokyo before we blew up those cities. We just wanted to test the bombs and see how they worked. So understand that we melted the flesh off of men, women, and children in Tokyo, Hiroshima, and in Nagasaki, and we have the nerve to get upset that other people are dropping smaller bombs on other people. We are not a righteous nation. And anybody that says we are is a liar. Now you see what we're doing in the dark. Doge is bringing what was done in the darkness into the light. I don't care if you believe it, friend. Christ told you this was going to happen. It's, that which was done in the darkness would be brought to the light. It is happening. History is going down. The Euphrates River is drying up. Israel, Jews are returning to their homeland. Everyone's coming against it. Everything in this Bible is coming true, friend. Prophecy after prophecy has been fulfilled and is in the middle of being fulfilled. The famines that they're talking about, if you go watch the Grab, you will see that the entire world is going to end up in a famine. We're running out of fresh water, and nobody knows it because they're hiding it from you. The governments are playing hide and seek because they don't want you to know that they're going to go kill a bunch of Africans to save their countries. Just like they're going to kill off a lot of us in the U.S. to save their countries. And it's just not that they're doing it wrong, because they're responsible for their people, and their people don't have water. So therefore, they have to do what it takes in order to make their people survive. So even though they're wrong, they're still right. And even though they're right, they're wrong. And because you all have this truth that is something other than what Christ said, I can't give you any truth worth having, because he's the only one that matters. If you're going to go kill for that water, those that live for the sword will die by it. That is a promise, because Christ said it. Call him a liar, I call you a liar. You want to crucify me, I go to my cross. I've told you the truth, friend. So if you don't believe Jesus is the truth, then you don't want to listen to me. But if you believe Jesus is the truth, it's time for you to get to know your King, because judgment is coming. We're running out of time, because we are nailing the lid in our own coffin across the entire world. And most people don't even see it because they're blind. They're blind fools. They're blind leading the blind. The only people that know the truth are the ones that are building the underground arcs. Guess who that is? The corporate elite. Yes, they know what's going on. Because they have all the money, they can pay for the knowledge from all these folks to know what's going on. So they are preparing, but understand, in Revelation it told you they would hide in their caves, their underground arcs, and they would pray for death, and death wouldn't come. You are not going to steal Christ's age because you're a Satan worshiper, because you worship selfishness. I don't care whether you call your selfishness Satan or not. Love is of Christ. Selfishness is of Satan. Those that worship at Satan's altar pay Satan's price. Fact. So you can either go get to know Christ, and my Father will give you what you need. And it's not about perfection. It's about a relationship with him. Because you won't hurt people intentionally. I wouldn't even want to be I wouldn't want to call myself a woman if I knew it was going to cause my nation to fail when I was a man. The problem is they don't see that, and they don't know that, because they don't even understand how they're breaking down the English language and causing a divide by trying to say they are something they are not, because that word woman means that you have a vagina, that you have a certain, XY chromosome versus a man has X chromosome or whatever. I'm not this great scientist. I know what it is. I just don't know exactly how to explain it all. So understand that you're trying to tell me that every truth is a lie because you want to feel good about somebody calling you what you want to be called, but you are destroying the English language, and therefore you will be responsible for the fall of a Christian nation. Because when you destroy the language, you destroy the communication. That's a fact. That is communism. That's what they do. Except in this case, it's no longer one government, it's one world order, and anybody that's looked at the World Economic Forum, you know BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street own all the corporations in this country, and that Larry Fink, the owner and CEO of BlackRock, is on the board of the World Economic Forum. If you don't think he's a snake, I don't know why. He doesn't care about his people. You wouldn't do what you do if you cared about the people that work in the companies, and we all work for him. Almost the whole world works for Larry Fink. You're his slave. Hello. You're a slave to the World Economic Forum and BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street, and they are evil sons of Satan, and I'm calling them out. I'm telling you, Dragon, I'm ripping you down. Never told you any different, friend. You will not do this to my Father's children for your own greed. Just because they're too scared to look and stand up to you, I'll stand up to you. You're cowards. You can kill me, but I won't die because I have eternal life. So you come put me on my cross, but you stop being a bunch of murdering thieves and stop killing Americans. We have Americans killing Americans for greed. It's done. It's over. We will not tolerate this. We will stand. And if you won't stand, you're cowardice. Period. I can't stand. I made a march to Washington. I stood against the corporations in court. I made a stand and nobody would stand with me. So don't you tell me what I'm not doing. I've done everything I know to do. This is insanity. You're all on a suicidal mission because you won't look at the truth of what they're doing to us. You're killing your kids and you're denying it. Lie. Go look at the truth. Don't believe me. Go look at the truth. If not, don't ask for a seat in my Father's kingdom because you're going to hide like a snake in the grass instead of putting your thoughts before God. Go to Him. Say, Lord, I've been a wicked servant. Forgive me my debt and I'll forgive them theirs. Right? That's what He said. Jesus said, forgive us our debts as we forgive those who debt against us. So I'm not angry. Understand, I know Larry Fink is murdering us, and I forgive him for he knows not what he does because he thinks it's his only way out. But it's not his way out, and nor theirs. So even though they thought they were going to be saved, they're going to get sealed in their tombs. This is my Father's creation, and you will not steal it from Him. I'm telling you that. I'm guaranteeing you that. That is my promise, because it was His. So you might call this book a lie, friend, but everything in this world's telling you it's the truth. You're just not looking because you're scared and selfish. Not my fault, not my problem. I want you to turn and receive eternal life. But if you don't, you will be cast into the darkness and you will pay all that's due. I've never been a liar, friend. So you either be out feeding the hungry and clothing. You do what Christ asked. You spend time in your secret place. Get your thoughts before God and see what He shows you. You get to know Him. But you get to know Jesus best of all. You start with the red letter edition of the Bible and you get to know your King because He's the truth. I cannot judge you, but I will not let you murder one another and just sit back and not tell you the truth. So I'm going to tell you that y'all are murderers because you refuse to look at the truth of love. Will you kill me for that? Absolutely you will. What did they prophesy about Christ? It's better one man die for the people than the whole nation perish. You're all perishing anyway. I'm here to give you a scapegoat because you sure won't do anything for yourselves. That's the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. But if you don't find a truth worth having, you're going to have no truth at all. And when it all goes down, you don't get what they're doing to us. They're putting everybody on psychiatric medication. when the economy collapses, which you know they're going to do, and they've separated you from your food supply, and then they separate you from your pharmaceuticals all at once, you're going to have a bunch of hungry, crazy people running around scared out of their minds, and fear produces horrible results. If you can't see it, you're blind. If you're not going to fix it, get the hell out. And I'm not angry, but it hurts my heart. I see where we're going. I have to be willing to stand up for the truth because you won't. Christians have become cowards. They hide behind false doctrine. You've got no love because you got no courage, because my Father will give you all courage. I don't care where you stand doing what. You better be standing with him somewhere doing something, or you're going to be cast into the darkness with the rest of them. That's a fact. I do love you, because my Father loves you, but he doesn't want you to just let this happen to your children and your neighbor, and you're doing it because you won't look at the truth. May God bless you and yours.